What we look for in the therapy is what I've come to call the story behind the story. Very often when a client comes in with a complaint, the most obvious example would be a phobia, an irrational fear. And it is irrational. The person is afraid of cats. The person is afraid of going out into the supermarket. The person is afraid of crossing the street, that they might get run down. And in each of these cases, in the interview, we first of all find out whether indeed they have been savaged by a cat, whether they have been run over by a car, or whether they were raped or something in the supermarket. And usually we find nothing happened. They have no history in this lifetime of dire events happening in that way. This is why the phobia is irrational. It doesn't make sense. So we listen for what might be a story in the background, a story in the unconscious mind, which doesn't actually belong to the person's current day biography, that's somehow coming from somewhere else. And whilst this is an unusual idea, it's found over and over again, particularly with phobias, that the irrational fear suddenly becomes rational when we allow a story to surface from the unconscious memory of this person. So we suddenly find that behind the fear of cats, there is a memory of being in the African plains and being attacked by a lion and savaged and killed as a black African in a past life. The past life story of someone who died in that way is somehow in the unconscious. We might find that the person who is terrified of crossing the road and being knocked down by a car, something very similar to that did actually happen. Earlier this century, they were killed by a passing car and died with a lot of fear. Equally, a person who is afraid of open spaces and public places may remember being trampled and killed in an attack in a medieval village square where soldiers came in and they couldn't escape because they were walled in. Those are typical stories that have come up a number of times, and we have learnt to trust, to look behind the irrational fear, the symptom, for another story. We don't question it, we don't ask if it's true or not, because it's true for the sufferer. It has meaning for them. And when we've expressed it, when we've allowed it to surface, and it has to be relived with all its full emotion to be cleared fully, when it has been relived, they feel a lot better. They feel, oh, that's over now, it's finished, and they can put it behind them. So we allow the nightmare to surface completely, and then it clears. It becomes completed in some way, and we can let go of it.